Hi, today I'd like to give you a quick overview of Front End for Business. Front End for Business is a rapid application development system for writing business applications. The design aims of Front End for Business are simple: to make database developers more productive. Writing your queries using a query grid isn't productive enough when there may be several thousand queries in a business application. Provide a single user interface for users, managers, administrators and developers, so that as you progress through an organization you don't have to relearn the user interface, and to make the users and managers productive in that they can do their own reports, etc. f4b should be SQL engine independent, so you can write your queries in one dialect and f4b will interpret them and be able to run them against a range of back-end databases. f4b should run on PCs and mobile devices. To get these productivity gains, what we aim to do is provide a great deal of functionality straight out of the box. In other words, when you connect a database via entering a connection string, all these benefits are available to you immediately. The architecture of f4b is fairly simple. There's a single user application that can be logged into via a range of users, all of who have different privileges, and they're accessing data in your application databases, which could be an accounts database, a contact management database, any sort of database really, and they're accessing that using queries that are stored in a central database that consists of a data access layer with the select queries in, and a business logic layer with the action queries in. Logging into f4b for the first time as a developer, you're presented with a tabbed form showing the developer's default startup activity. This activity is the system setup activity and is essentially the business logic layer of the user database. I have in fact logged into this session before and entered some connection strings to application databases. If I'd logged into this system before as an administrator, I would have been directed to the user setup activity. This is essentially the data access layer of the user database. I have in fact logged into this system before and created a basic user, Tom. Okay, so let's get on with creating our first application. What we need first is some select queries to access the data in the database. So if we go to here and say connect, this will give me the option of giving me a quick connection or a slow connection. I'll go for the slow one. It gives me slightly cleaner table names and field names. What's going on here is that the f4b is interrogating the system tables of the application database and creating those select queries. Now we have some select queries. A quick look at the queries we just created. Maybe open one. There are a lot of fields in this table, so let's cut down the number of fields that Front End for Business is returning. Looking good. Might as well get started creating a new activity. Saving the new view layout. This form comes up differently if you're a basic user, in that you don't get access to these two tabs or these menu options. Well, I guess we can leave the developer to sort out the connections to the application databases, and we'll have a look at what happens if you log in as a basic user at this time. Well, it's the same form but with a different activity. The factory default activity for a default user is actually the diary. At Front End for Business, we keep a log of the changes that we've made to Front End for Business, and we keep those changes in the diary. The things that I'm looking at the bottom of the file menu here are what we term favorites. And one of the favorite views is the release notes that we've got. Here's the changes that we made in this particular version. Present it as a report and send it to somebody. When we send out a new license for users of f4b, we record that to the diary too. This is sent out as an email. We use the document management as attachment for emails and for the help system. Let's have a look at some of that documents. Route planning information and how to set up the route planning. That would be something useful that the basic user could do. For the supply chain, we probably have standard routes that we go each week. Just check the route. Looks good. The point is that the basic user is being productive from the word go. A quick look at the scheduler. Running things through the scheduler means that all the actions are taking place on the server rather than on your PC, so you can save an awful lot of network traffic and you can put things to happen overnight. Let's have a look how the developer's getting along. Just a bit of tidying up. Been busy. Let's see what Tom's seen. Good. Bit of warehousing maybe. What would it look like on a mobile? Well, we've had a real thrash around, but I hope we've given you some idea as to what Front End for Business is all about. Please visit frontendforbusiness.com.